All right, we're heading up for one of the other big events of the night, and this is the women's 1,500 metres. And I guess most of the interest here from Kenia Sinclair, who won in Melbourne, and she won the 800 metres in Melbourne, so stepping up to the 1,500 tonight. Georgie, Clarke and Lisa Corrigan will also create plenty of interest, but it's a tough ask for an athlete to go up from the 8 to the 1,500.
Kenia Sinclair was, pretty amazing in the 800 metres, so it is going to be interesting. She has done a personal best of 4:05.56. Regarding the Australians, we've got Bridie Delaney, who has had season best of 4:11.01, and also we can't remember the baby of the team at 15 years old, Peter, Anna Laman, who's out there, and what a huge future she has as well.
Yeah, from Parramatta, the young lady, there she is, just in the left of your picture, with Amanda Paulin, Bridie Delaney and Kelly Young, who will go from the inside position here. And Sian Tomo, who's going to start from the outside position. We're going to be seeing a bit of her early.
Yeah, she's going to be the pacemaker for tonight, and she's looking at running the 800 metres in about 2:10, or roughly 65-second 400 metres. We haven't really mentioned Georgie Clarke, obviously one of our great Australian athletes. She'll be wanting to improve on her runs over the last few weeks, so let's see how Georgie goes. And it's great to see her back on track too, because we've seen a lot of injuries in the past with her.
Well, she would have good memories of Sydney, because she was here at the Sydney Olympics.
Only a baby. I think she was only 16 years old then.
Incredible, yeah. Lisa Corrigan, the lady beside her at 26 years of age, an Olympian in Beijing.
And Lisa's also the Australian record holder in the mile, so she'll be giving the girls a run for their money as well.
Yeah, she's got the third fastest Australian 1,500 ever, Lisa Corrigan. So she's going to be certainly in the mix here. Sian Tomo, number 11. On the far left there is Kenia Sinclair. She looked really impressive in winning the 800 in Melbourne.
Look, she is. She's in really good shape and running like a 1:59.63 in, late February as such. We know she's in good shape, so I think she'll be very difficult to beat.
Almost ready to get things underway in this, the women's 1,500. Coming to you from the Sydney Track Classic at Homebush Bay. A big welcome to you, wherever you're watching.
The women will be very happy with these conditions right now. It's perfect for a 1,500 metres.
On your mark.
And off they go in the women's 1,500. And there goes Sian Tomo from the outside. So she's going to be the rabbit. And by the look of it, Kenia Sinclair is going to latch right onto her back as they make their way off the back straight the first time. And Tomo has the lead. Kenia Sinclair's up into second. And the 15-year-old, Anna Laman, has got up into third place at the moment. Just having a look for Georgie Clarke. She's settled up in about the first 5 or so. And Lisa Corrigan just back a little bit from there as they come into the straight the first time. So Sian Tomo, she's going to go through the first couple of laps, setting the pace. Kenia Sinclair of Jamaica is in second. In third placing is Laman. Georgie Clarke is in fourth at the moment on the outside of Kelly Young. And just having a look for Lisa Corrigan, she's back about third last at the moment and covering a little bit of ground early on.
How impressive is Anna Laman, just to think she's only 15 years old, and what a wonderful experience, and she's not holding back. She's being very determined. She's making sure she's sitting on there, Kenia Sinclair, just to make sure she doesn't get too far apart. And then, of course, we've got Georgie Clarke, who will want to stay with the top two, especially in the with the pacemaker.
Yeah, Bridie Delaney is on the back of Georgie Clarke just at the moment. Georgie's gone up into third place now behind Kenia Sinclair. So effectively, Sinclair is the leader behind the pacemaker Tomo, and Georgie Clarke in second spot effectively.
Now, that's been a very fast 400 metres. They've gone through in about 64 seconds.
Yeah, well, as you would expect with the pacemaker. Now, Lisa Corrigan has obviously decided that with the pacemaker going on here, that she's going to be happy to run the race from the back, and she's going to give them a little bit of a start. We'll just try and identify Lisa Corrigan. She's fourth last at the moment as they come down the straight, and Sian Tomo has done her job. So really she's taken the field through round about the first 700 metres. Sinclair's up on the outside of her. In third place is Georgie Clarke. Bridie Delaney is fourth. And over on the inside is the young lady, the 15-year-old Anna Laman, and still Lisa Corrigan is biding her time back near the back of the field.
Yeah, the pace is going very well because Kenia Sinclair roughly wanted the 800 metres to be around 2:10, and obviously Sian's doing a great job of that.
Hannah Newbold has moved up into about 6th position now as Sian Tomo pulls off. So now Kenia Sinclair is going to have to do the job over about the last 600 metres or so. Now remember, she's run an 800 recently, and Georgie Clarke is camped on her back, and she's better known as a 1500 metre runner.
Now the pace has slowed down a little bit. Now we're up to 2:12 for the 800 metres. And as we can see, our pacemaker has now dropped off, so it's up to Kenia Sinclair.
Now, Corrigan is the lady who's back in about 6th or 7th spot at the moment. She's just off the back of the main pack, but she is just starting to crank it up a little bit and starting to make some ground. So as they come down with 1 lap to go, it's Kenia Sinclair of Jamaica, the leader, from Georgie Clarke of Australia. In 3rd spot over on the inside is Bridie Delaney, and then follows Kelly Young, who's got up into 5th, and she's starting to make a bit of ground. Anna Laman is also going pretty well, and Lisa Corrigan just at the moment is not able to keep in contact with them, but it's Sinclair the leader. Georgie Clarke is right on her back as they go down the back straight. So who's going to have the kick? Moving into 3rd now is Delaney. It is Young in 4th. Sinclair looking comfortable at the moment. Clarke is trying to reduce that gap, but she's not having any luck just at the moment.
No, Clarke is really trying to pump those arms and drive through. She knows that Bridie Delaney is also behind her, and in Melbourne, Clarke actually was beaten by Bridie Delaney, so she'll be fighting out for that 2nd position, because as you can see, Kenia Sinclair is kicking home.
Well, look at this beautiful style from a 30-year-old from Jamaica. 800 metres in Melbourne, 1,500 metres in Sydney, and she is striding away to win it very convincingly. Georgie Clarke is trying to hang on from Bridie Delaney for 2nd. Sinclair wins. Clarke is going to get 2nd just in front of Delaney, and then a long gap away in 4th place, the 15-year-old in Anna Laman, and Lisa Corrigan in the end wasn't able to make much ground at all. In fact, just having a look for Lisa and just wondering whether she's actually got to the line or not, but that was a very impressive performance by Kenia Sinclair.
It is, and she is in such great shape, especially this time of the year, and she really tried to push our athletes in Georgie and Bridie just to bring them home, try to get their times down. It's an unofficial time of 4:06.5, which is a great time for this time of the year.
And Lisa Corrigan did make it in the middle of the field, but look at the way she held her form. You could see, as you said, down the back straight, Mel, Georgie Clarke really striving to get to her, but she just wasn't able to reduce the gap. No,
she wasn't, and here it's just, it looks like she's so fresh, doesn't it, Peter? The way that she just took off that last 100 metres. You could tell with Georgie and Bridie, they're starting to struggle there. You could see in the background, and fighting their form, just trying to be able to make sure they get over the line in 2nd place.
Yeah, that's about just a 2nd or so outside her personal best, but a very impressive performance from Kenia Sinclair. Let's hear from her now with David.
Kenia, not too far off your actual personal best. You must be really thrilled with the way you finished on there.
Well, today I wanted to do a PB, but I'm satisfied with the time. It's the first 1,500 metres in like 2.5 years, so I'm really happy with the time. It was a strong field. I just got there and I run my race.
Yeah, it seems like Georgie Clarke, who was behind you for the majority of that race, just on your heels, is improving with every run. So to be able to put some space on her, it must have felt good that last 150 metres.
Well, I knew coming into the race that I was the fastest based on my 800 PR. So I just wanted to go there and finish the last 200 like I always try to do in my 800 metre. I mean, I think she did pretty well, you know. I felt as if though the 3rd lap I could have pushed it a little bit, and then I just finished.
Well, you put on a thrilling effort for the crowd, so congratulations tonight. Well done.
Hi, thank you.
Well, that is not a bad performance, not having run a 1,500 metres for that long. The time 4:06.50, only about a 2nd outside of personal best. Confirmation of the result in the women's 1,500 final. Kenia Sinclair of Jamaica first in 4:06.50. Georgie Clarke of Victoria hanging on for 2nd in front of Bridie Delaney of New South Wales, and the 15-year-old Anna Laman in 4th place. Lisa Corrigan of the ACT eventually finishing in 5th.
And the wonderful thing about that is Georgie and Bridie both did a season best, and you can't ask for much more than that, especially having someone like Kenia Sinclair out here.
All right.